The Flogcast may occasionally contain explicit content that makes it not safe for work or for minors. It also doesn't provide an excuse to use the same words on Bay 13. Normal Big Footy rules still apply. So this is the Flogcast for round 2. The Horse Whisperer from Richmond, Starburns, is here again, and I'm joined by the #1 fan of Hawthorn's Power Ranger Guernsey, Penal.
G'day.
Proud player sponsor of James Aish, Morgan Ashley.
VFL player James Aish.
Mr. Moral Victory himself from St Kilda, Cooksen.
Hello, how are we all?
And he's still on the call from last week. He showed more fight than his team and refused to fuck off from Fremantle. We have Jose.
You'll never get me off this fucking thing.
You're a bit like an STD, Jose. It's like herpes.
I was like a clap, you just can't get rid of it.
And joining us for his first appearance, he's been promoted from the rookie list. The man who would be North's youngest player, Northernlights.
G'day.
Alright, so it's been an interesting week, and we do have a lot of losers here, so we'll try not to get too teary for Goo and Tears, but who does want to go first?
I'll go with Tears. The entire fucking Fremantle team's skilled. Fuck me. Can't you kick it to a fucking purple player? The oven's in fucking white. How hard is a kick to a fucking dark coloured shirt? Fuck me. I was like, this meathead, get on. If you can kick it 20 minutes to a purple player, get on. But that's my Tears. It's absolutely fucking abysmal.
Shit-ass purple players.
This is the only time I like talking about Fremantle when we get a nice meld going.
Does anyone else have any Goo or Tears? Because at least Jose was short and sharp, which we can't usually say for him.
Which is funny because he's short. I have some Goo, and it's for Chris Scott for his, not defence, but for his attack last night on Robbo.
No, okay, I'm going to have to step in.
No, I don't care. You can step in whenever you want.
No.
But I would just like to say that I appreciated Chris Scott's opinion, and I thought he spoke very well, and he's my Goo for the week. I thought he was great.
I'm going to have to step in because Richo pointed out last time.
Oh, of course he did.
Did he? We weren't allowed to have any attacks on TGO from you, and I didn't think anyone took you seriously, but on the off chance anyone does.
I didn't know that Richo made the rules.
We do not endorse blasphemy on here.
I'll do what I want. Jesus Christ, I'll do what I want.
Hey, can you not use the Lord's name in vain, please? This is a Christian podcast.
I'm sorry, but I watched my side be crucified on the weekend. I don't care what happened anywhere else.
Gary Ablett Sr. will not bless your unborn baby if you continue on in this vein.
Well, that's fine, because I'm not sure that I trust him to do so. But my side was crucified. We've got 6 days to resurrect. We've got double the amount of time. Gillen the Great's given us 6 days to resurrect ourselves. So, in the Lord's name, get up, you bastards.
In the name of TGO.
As the only side that actually has any saintly connotations, we deserve a Good Friday
game.
game.
You're saints when you're such bad people. Pretty reflective of the church.
Apparently 48% of our supporters are immoral and evil.
100% of ours are. And our players, actually,
they get stoned to death. They just get stoned. Anyway, we're getting a little bit off track. Who else has something for us?
I've got Goo, Gary Ablett returning and giving Essendon a new one. That was good. And also St Kilda's youth going well for 3/4 of a game. Nearly there.
Gary Ablett better not play very well next week then.
I have some more Goo. I've got a lot of Geelong. Yeah, but naturally for Patrick Dangerfield. But for the joy and the exuberance that he had after the game, the guy just looked like he loved playing football. It was oozing out of him rather than what usually oozes out of him. It was beautiful. It was really nice to see somebody just happy to play a game. Like, that's what it's about.
That's because he fucked off at Adelaide.
Speaking of Geelong and Hawthorn and Goo, and we did mention Robbo, the TGO, as he's known, he's a deity, and his Easter miracle was quite significant. He foresaw Hawthorn-Geelong game, and he foresaw all the Geelong supporters who would work themselves into a thirst, fapping over the Hawthorn result, and he delivered a reservoir of Collingwood tears for them to drink and rehydrate afterwards, so I think that needs to be referenced as well.
When Robert saw this vision, did he see it in a urinal with a shit in it?
He saw it at the bottom of the 10th pint of the night, but he saw it. Moses had a burning bush. Robbo has a Melbourne bitter.
Maybe he has a burning bush. Maybe his bush is burning as well, but I don't understand how he would have got it.
Can Robbo part his beer?
How can we see while our bushes are burning?
I know that Robbo probably doesn't know the difference between his 7th year and his 11th year, but if he doesn't know the difference between 7 players and 11 players, maybe he shouldn't be writing stories about it.
7 and 11? What's this got to do with Strawberry Big Ends?
11, where's Dan?
I think Robbo is just a fat version of Peter Garrett, to be honest.
Yeah, Dan, we've gone the youth policy at North, unlike North, and we've got Northernlights in to replace you.
We tried to get Royals, but...
NL, you got anything for us?
Yeah, I could probably muster up a bit of goo for big Toddy Goldstein. I thought he just got better as the match went on Saturday night. He had a rough 3 quarters, it's got to be said, but just...
So he had the reverse of a St Kilda game then?
Yeah, pretty much, you could say that. Yeah, against a good source, Jacobs, and he was just a colossus at the end, and Australians.
I heard a rumour that he had a spark by Boomer at 3/4 time.
Oh. What's this?
Have you not heard the new ads? So Boomer is advertising his product, which is Spark by Boomer. It's like a...
Oh, the goo drink.
Yeah, so I reckon Toddy had one at 3/4 time.
What's it called? Spunk by Boomer?
Yeah, it comes out really slowly and old, but no, it's called Spark by Boomer. I guess he's looking after his career when he retires at 70.
You just know Boomer being the way he is, that is all recycled ingredients. If it cuts costs, he'll do it. Penal, what do you got?
It's actually just his leftover Gatorade.
Well, I'm going to spill some goo, I guess, for the Hawthorn youth that played yesterday. And we're a very young and inexperienced side, and we battled manfully against the Geelong team of champions. That they're like the Mercenaries, the big plastic soccer club of the AFL. They've brought all these players in, and we had a bunch of kids out there, but they battled really well, and I think the future is very, very bright at Hawthorn. It'll be a long time before we fall out of the top 4.
Are you saying
Penal, were they brave?
Yeah, are you saying you were brave?
We were so brave. I mean, missing dozens of best 22 players, and, our average age yesterday was probably something like 19. I haven't looked up the stats, but that was probably it.
Have you been to Robbo's School of Counting? How many dozens fit into 22?
We were like the anti-North this week.
So you should have won, because Young's good. There's no excuses.
Can we cut him off yet?
Yeah,
I've got him started.
This will be the shortest debut ever.
I mean, I must admit,
I will become viral.
Penal is correct. I mean, that young Sam Mitchell looked very good.
Dude, your youth was rubbish. Just face it.
And you'd know rubbish.
I saw it on the weekend.
Whilst we're talking about Robbo counting, I think we'll come to my goo if everyone else hasn't gone. So I think if we all remember, I had strange goo last week, a bit of humble goo, surprise goo with Hardwick. I'm going to have to go a similar tack this week and surprise goo, and it is for Daniel Rioli, who had 7 disposals and 6 tackles, and he chased really hard, and the Hawthorn support has been telling us for years that, and it was only 2 disposals less than Cyril and 1 more tackle, with tackles being more important than touches, by the way. Hawthorn supporters have set that standard. So by the logic and all the standards they have set, Daniel Rioli is already a star of the competition, an absolute superstar, once in a generation or twice in a generation now. So yeah, my goo's for Daniel Rioli, who's in his first game already caught Cyril. He's already caught at Cyril, and
I would say he's surpassed.
No, he caught Zach Tui. He didn't really catch Cyril.
He has, because he got nearly as many disposals in his first game. He got
Where's
more
his
tackles, and
Norm
tackles
Smith
are more
medal?
important.
When's he ever won a game off his own boot?
Well,
like Cyril has countless times.
He's only played
Cyril's
one game.
also lost a few games off his boot.
Yeah, exactly. He got the average Cyril output this week, which apparently, if possessions mean 3 times as much, he had a 20 disposal game. So
how many goals
remember the game against Sydney where Cyril dropped the ball?
This is the kind of mediocrity you have to set.
No. I'm not accepting mediocrity. I'm just applying...
No, you're having goo over a 7 disposal game.
Yeah, well, because
It's a
Hawthorn
Rioli
support-
7
yeah,
disposal
it's a Rioli
game.
7 disposal game, and Hawthorn supporters been telling us for years that each disposal's worth 3 times as much. So
So
Daniel,
you're
this is-
jumping on the bandwagon.
So this is ironic goo, basically.
I'm not biting, get
no,
fucked.
because it's just matching the Hawthorn standard. In 21 disposals, he nearly played as well as Clayton Oliver then, when you times it by 3.
It's like rain on your wedding day.
He's matching Cyril already, and I finally get what Hawthorn supporters mean. They're all worth 3 times as much.
How did Sean Hansen go?
Well, every disposal he gets, you could divide by 3, which means he had, I think, 1/3 of a disposal.
One touch.
What about his chiseled jawline?
Oh, but he did look pretty.
Yeah, well, that's Jose's just given us the Fremantle Nat 5. Not there's anything wrong with that.
Yep, exactly.
Oh, there ain't nothing wrong with that jawline.
Let's go to the games, and we'll begin with the hashtag concerning Hawks, with the struggling youth and the injured good bloke. And what do we take out of that game?
Bingo
Nothing, it's round one.
players are lamenting all over the bay. I mean, we lost our valuable member.
Yeah, well, it's going to be very hard to win that game. There might be as many bingo winners this year as games won by Essendon.
A lot of bingo cards are friends in the trash.
Yeah.
I think that Smeghead is killing bingo at the moment.
But he's in no man's land, actually, because all 4 of them were not in a row or any kind of whatever.
Well, Jose, we're just going to have to take what we can get this year, obviously, because good bloke's gone himself injured, you know.
No, fucking, he doesn't get injured. That man is literally a monster truck. He's unbreakable.
I'm wondering if
the
the
Toyota Hilux of the AFL. If he's quote unquote injured and misses football, it's just because, you know, he didn't feel like it. It's because he needs to take his, you know, massive guns in for repairs.
Maybe he's just not into the new autumn menu at Light and Easy, so he's not feeling up to it.
He's a bit bloated.
Malnutrition.
Maybe the light and easy salads get him the runs again.
He's a new global achiever.
Did he take a shot at goal? Because couldn't people just tick off the Hodge being visibly injured and taking a shot at goal?
Don't think he had a shot. He got most of his possessions around the stoppages.
Chip scabbing.
No, he
Sounds
was
like it.
in the thick of it. He was at the bottom of the pack, just where he wants to be.
I don't think he was. I think Dangerfield was at the bottom of every pack.
Now that we've talked about good bloke Hodge, can we talk about how much of a shit bloke Dangerfield is?
Oh,
Just
yeah.
getting
No.
up all in the umpire's face like that. I mean, that was disgraceful.
It was Matt
is just
Stevic. He
a
was
bad-
in a Hawthorn player's face.
It's a bad look for the game, and I hate to sound like Suze right now, but it's just not a good look, and it's setting a bad example for the kid to have a quote-unquote star of the game like that, just
Did Gazza get
abusing the umpires so callously. And I mean, where do you draw the line? I mean, if you're going to do that on a football field, I bet he probably fucking beats his girlfriend at home or some shit.
No,
You
we
know, that
know.
is just...
No, he's no Albert Proud.
He is a small man, and that was a disgrace.
No.
I'm going to say,
Shameful.
No,
I would
apart
say
from
we
the
should
fact
have
that
an
that's probably going a little bit far, Penal, as we've discussed.
You've stooped
here,
low before, but
he
that's new.
He does what he's told, clearly. He was a class above in that game, though, and comes back to what we just said. Obviously, Adelaide have been holding him back. He could have been an
it's not
absolute
the first time
star,
Adelaide's
but
hold
yeah,
Australia back.
Exactly.
Maybe he has been a star the whole time, but we just weren't watching. Like,
It's
maybe
probably-
we
it's
just don't
probably-
give these people credit because we don't
It was
see them on
probably
the big
something in
stage
the
every
water
week.
over there just slowed him down, you know. It tastes funny. There must be something there.
No, I think it was, we've just been, like, all we ever hear about is Clangerfield, because Port have a problem when they're obsessed.
Port have a problem.
And-
The whole state has a problem.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
and so
there's some
we
validity
just
to
ignore
it. He
them.
still can't kick,
Yeah, he did
even
miss
with
those
whatever he's drinking now these days.
But
Zach Smith played extremely well, I reckon.
Yeah.
Really well.
he might actually be a really good get for them.
Yeah, I think he was
I
a
mean, Zach
good get.
Smith also played very well.
What?
I mean, he smashed Hawthorn's Ruckman.
Yeah, welcome to 5 minutes ago.
Why could he? You're like so fucking
Someone's banging a pole. Who's in West Horsham? Who's about to murder someone?
Me.
Oh, it's Morgs in the flogcast room.
Oh,
with
it's
the lead
Cluedo.
piping.
Morgs in the spa area with a
Are you threatening
scooper pole.
James's?
With the oversized watch. Anything else on the Cats versus the Hawfies?
Did they hand Geelong a cup for their round one premiership that they are so feverishly celebrating, or?
Yeah, I
Like,
think
if this doesn't change anything, Geelong is still going to miss the 8. Like, this was their grand final. This is literally the only time we play them this year. And
don't think they'll
it
miss the
will
8.
continue to be that way because they're not going to make finals and we won't see them in September. So
Premiership
enjoy your
hangover.
round 1 grand final, Geelong.
So they're going to have a premiership
Yeah,
hangover at
congratulations,
Kinder
you've
Hawthorns
peaked.
in 2009.
Well,
You've
no,
peaked
they're
already.
just
Well
not
done.
very good.
They're just not very good at football. They're going to rely on Dangerfield all year.
They are literally a one-man team.
They can't be that good when one guy can be the difference between them being absolutely ordinary and, you know, where they were to beat Hawthorn. It's all Dangerfield and, you know, he's not going to be able to carry them all year. We saw it with Nat 5 last year in Fremantle. And on that note, let's move on to Nat Fyfe and Fremantle and losing to the Dogs. And I think this was a highly unenjoyable result, not just for Jose, but for Morgs too.
Purple pieces of shit.
So now the Dogs are on top of the ladder, and the bathwater is flowing. And
Thanks a lot.
Ross Lyon and Fremantle have a
No,
37%.
this is what you want. This is what we want, guys. This is exactly what we want. We want the bathwater to cultivate. We want it to grow. We want the bath to be fucking full by round 14, and then they're gonna drown.
Well, no, and when they lose the grand final to Hawthorn, we're all gonna be happy.
I don't care if they lose it to Carlton. I'll be happy.
Essendon.
You guys just listed 3 teams that are going to beat them in the grand final that won't be there.
I'm talking
That
about
aren't
general.
playing
Well,
Neither will they, so it doesn't matter. Cause
I think Hawthorn are a little more likely to be in the grand final than Carlton and Essendon, thank you. Who's got fucking church bells in the background?
Jesus is here, guys. I can feel it.
I've just got to say though, but Freo looked really concerning. Their key forwards are non-existent. Their defence is laughable.
Concerning would imply that we care.
No,
It's not concerning.
It wasn't players, it was fucking skills.
Yeah, well, players execute skills.
Ross Lyon has like one game plan, and when that doesn't work, it just fails badly.
No, Ross Lyon's plan B is, when plan A fails, blame the players. Because that's what he did, isn't it, after the game?
Yeah, well, what do you expect? He
And
played
then-
so fucking shit.
And then the players started saying they went for a leisurely Monday stroll. Ooh, Monday stroll. Oh, Sunday stroll, sorry, Sunday stroll.
I was going to say they've been to the days of the week school that Robbo went to for counting.
They didn't play very well. Like, seriously, like, fucking, who was it? It was Lee Spur kicked it multiple times to opposition player.
Who?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, Lee Spur is number
You're gonna
34.
have to use
Just say the
Fremantle
purple
player.
Maybe if you
Just
told us
a
which number
Fremantle
he
player
was.
is fine.
And
No,
Nicola
we
Zach
don't know
Dawson
their
here,
numbers.
Number 3.
Just a Fremantle player.
Just say
Zach
not
Dawson.
Fife.
Zach Dawson, number 3. Fucking
No, just say either Nat Fife or not Fife.
Nat Fife was nowhere to be seen. Like, our midfield was like nowhere to be fucking seen, and that's the problem. Like, it wasn't the key forwards really, because the key forward, yeah, probably, but the key forwards got no service, like literally. And then when we got service, fucking Ballantyne and fucking Chris Main missed set shots right fucking front.
Chris Main missed set
Oh,
shots.
they're
I'm
not
shocked
key
to be
forward.
sitting
Maybe you
here.
need to have one first.
Yeah.
Well, we probably thought it was going to happen, but Pav went on this year, and he just looks done. Like, he looks.
Well, did you
he
see
looks cooked
him
and it's
clean
round
up
one.
Easton Wood? He got
Give it a
cited, but
rest.
they let him off because it was more of a punishment to keep him playing for them.
It wasn't that
Wasn't
bad.
it like 2 weeks ago that Boomer was done and he should be giving it up?
When did
No.
we ever say that about
No,
Boomer?
Oh,
the
we're
thing
all
is, we all saw Pav fall off a cliff at the end of last year, and we're like, why isn't he going on? Boomer was still good in the finals, so it's a very different situation.
It's clear if
but Pav doesn't want to go on. It's not his own
spunk
fault.
to drink, then maybe he'd still be playing well.
Well,
They just need to get someone tall and,
What-
Sandman's
Who's that guy they've got playing in the twos? Michael Apness or someone?
He's shit.
Like, I know he's shit, but just, back him in, give him games, couldn't be worse than Pav.
Because,
Maybe
like, you're
he'll turn
spending-
into a good player.
You're spending less on them than the doggies are on Boyd, who took like 1 mark or something.
Yeah, I'd rather
Did he get a
fucking
chant?
put Alex Pearce fucking in there in the forward line rather than fucking Agnes.
yeah, the 15 people there chanted Boydie when he took the mark.
This is the thing, the Dogs are on top of the ladder and they're still picking Tom Boyd in the team.
Oh,
The
Look
Dogs
out.
are on top of the
Shit.
ladder and they still have to go around the ground afterwards and shake every person's hand. Like,
Well, we don't,
why
the
does-
song would be
why
over
does
by the
nobody
time
go?
they finished. So
I don't understand why is this team who is so exciting to everyone else and so sexy and all this shit, why does no one go and watch them?
Well, to be fair, they had, 25,000 people there, which is a bit of an improvement on the 18,000 they had on the same fixture last year. So they're making small incremental gains.
25,000 to see the
Hey,
sexiest team
25,000
in
to go watch
football.
Fremantle is nothing to be sneezed at.
Fremantle get crowds every week. Melbourne and GWS got 25,000. They got more.
That's the preemptive bandwagon.
But people aren't
Sorry.
bandwagons. You're not on a team. Like, this isn't Sydney. You can't expect
Yes,
them
they
to
do. If I open my Facebook every day, it appears that they do just jump on the bandwagon.
Oh, West
So,
Coast
to
fans
every
like-
scum-sucking loser on my Facebook, turn up.
Let's move on, and since we're talking about bandwagon as well, let's go to Pufferfish. And they ran out the game better than you, Cookie.
Who
That's
would have
because
thought
we-
they had more legs? Darren Burgess,
Yeah.
finally.
Ollie Wines,
But-
he really stood up in the last quarter.
He ran like Superman.
We'll say Chad Wingard played well, got 20 and 3 again. Very
Mhm.
well, but Skilda's youth all round, very good.
Doesn't matter.
Learning
Wingard
3.
20 and 3, but he's not as good as Cyril and Daniel.
Exactly.
Yes, he is. Everyone
No.
everyone says he is.
No.
Well,
The
definitely.
Wolfie said he's not as good as Cyril, so he's not as good good as Daniel either.
When
That's
Cyril
the
20
joke.
in threes, it's like triple 20 in threes.
It's like 60 and
60
9.
and,
Nine.
60 and 9. That's Hawthorn's favourite
wow.
number.
69.
Well, that says a lot, doesn't it? That's what him and Bruce get up to afterwards. Delicious.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No, each to their own.
But yeah,
That's why I
I'm
like
convinced
this.
Port Adelaide's entire strategy and game plan involves running around a lot and hoping we're somehow fitter than a bunch of 18-year-olds. I mean, they're fucking
Well, it
team
works for
shit.
Geelong.
Works for
I
North.
remember when they tried that against Fremantle and they lost. It was funny. They got outrun by a bunch of old people.
Stop talking about the past.
Yeah, we've already talked about Freo, Jose. Do you really want us to do it even more?
This is not the
We
could have
can
been
talk-
champions.
We can talk more about how you lost to the team that finished 8th last year.
But-
No?
No, I know. Actually, I thought Charlie Dixon did pretty well towards the end, but he was absolutely average up until then.
But
Yeah, the
you
whole
can do-
team's just
you can
average.
do that if you take the game away. Look, I'm going to go full paddles here. It was clearly because of the jumpers. Okay. Stuck when their heritage jumper, the one they had when their club was founded, back in 1996, their first jumper. Heritage round at the Puffer Fish. And could you be proud of that abortion? I'm not sure.
Are we still talking about Gary Ablett Sr. here?
No.
I was like, I didn't have an abortion.
No. Gaza blessed it.
Oh, yeah. I remember.
I mean,
But-
teal is just an appealing sports uniform. It suits so many teams.
I guess when you don't
Port
have a
Adelaide.
history, like, you can just do what
Yeah.
you want.
Yeah, I mean, they just
yeah,
wear
exactly.
these.
You can chop and change.
They wear Collingwood Guernseys half the time for some reason.
They did that when we let them.
They steal identities from a Sandfeld club, a poor little Sandfeld
And
club
from Pokemon. Don't forget the Pokemon.
from
Oh,
Pokemon. It's just-
Magitarp. Was Magitarp at the game?
Surprisingly not.
But you did notice something else about the game, Cookie, and I guess this comes back to, we discussed Richmond and the Horses last week, which we'll come to later. But you did notice something about their pre-match.
Everything about Port Adelaide is cringeworthy as fuck. I mean, you have the stupid singing of the song, which is not traditional. Get a fucking new song, you useless cunts. And also, every game, there's always Kinkley having a pre-game speech and saying the same useless shit. I mean, he sounds like a normalist twat being bored out of like, oh, efforts, we are Port, we are a proud club that's 20 years
We
old.
will never give up, except in, all those games last year when they kind of folded faster than a deck of cards. But okay.
It's a bunch
We
of
have
cliches,
pride
isn't
in our jumper, which is not our jumper.
Whichever one we choose that week.
it?
They're just
They-
money grubbing whores.
They got to win, and they'll keep their bandwagon afloat. They'll be fighting Geelong off and the Kohlers for bandwagon,
So they won't have to
Yes.
shut the gates this week. Well done. Congratulations.
No.
You survive another week.
pretty much. Do we want to move on?
Yes.
All right. Well, I did
Unless
discuss
it's
the
to my team. No.
I did discuss the Kohlers bandwagon, and it's well and truly up and about, and the Collingwood supporters have done a disappearing act on the bay.
I don't think we have. There's only 3 of us and we're still here.
I haven't seen VJ post about Essendon for a while, so yeah.
Oh, VJ, I got a little whack. He did post on the Collingwood board during the week, though, wanting our players banned. At least he
we'll
was
come-
consistent.
Why that is later.
Stop whacking the gate, for fuck's sake.
I put
Who's
the
what?
fucking lid on the spa.
Step away from the gate.
Why am
That's
I
it,
doing
it's-
all the hard labour?
Trouble in paradise.
Oh, I've been relegated to outside, so...
You got kicked out.
That doesn't mean
Usually
you'll
it's North
fucking
getting kicked out.
Well, because I can't smoke outside.
No,
so
well,
I'm
North
outside.
kicked us out of Tassie. Now they're kicking Morgs out of her own home.
No, it's not Zenel's home.
Okay.
That's alright.
Anyway, Collingwood and the Kohlers, which, well, you got smacked in so many ways by a team
We
that
got
was...
absolutely crucified. They just literally nailed us to the cross, killed us. We were abysmal. There was no fight. There was no bravery. There was nothing. No leadership. Injuries. Really sad to see Swanee go down like that. For Solo, Magic Man somehow lands on his head and because it's so enormous, gets back up.
That was actually pretty ugly, that.
Yeah, that looks really
well,
bad.
I hadn't seen it, and then KP sent me a text message saying Paz just died, and so I went on Twitter and watched the video, and I thought, oh shit.
So he didn't die, so KP's credibility takes a bit of a hit this week.
I
Oh
reckon
yeah, it does
Sydney
that regularly.
Sydney literally just suffocated Collingwood. They just got the pillow out and fucking suffocated them. That's literally what happened. Sydney were just everywhere. Collingwood just nowhere.
And Collingwood
we
liked
just
it.
didn't turn up. It's like we were at ANZ Stadium and they were at the SCG because we weren't mentally there. We weren't physically there.
You were playing to
I
the
don't know,
ANZ
bus just went to the wrong
dimensions and half
place.
your players were sitting in the crowd.
I think it
Well,
was the
I
venue
don't know.
change that made the difference in the end.
My favourite part was Fig Jam. You know, he's been in the AFL for so long, you know, back in the 90s, and he decided to channel his very first senior coach as a player, Robert Walls, and when Travis Cloke had no touches at halftime, what did he do? He threw him in the ruck. That's what you do, you throw him in the ruck, and it was
Wow.
quite interesting to see Travis get bulldozed by Tippett about 3 centre bounces in a row.
Like, in all
It-
fairness, Mick has done it to him before. He's been in the ruck before. If Jared Witts was
I
playing
don't
one
think
out
David would have liked
and not
that.
well,
I don't
Oh,
think
no, of
David
course.
would have liked that.
no, of course, it wasn't for the same reason, but
They should have
God,
thrown. They need Jason. They need Jason in the ruck. He was great at punching the ball.
Don't
well,
you wish
if
you still
maybe-
had...
If Mick hadn't have killed Jason when he put him in the forward line, we would still have Jason. May he rest
Well,
in
don't
peace.
you wish you still had fucking Chris Dawes on your list right now?
Yeah, he could
No,
ruck.
no. I would literally rather Jared Blair in the ruck.
You know who you are in the ruck? Zach Dawson. Apparently he's a good ruckman.
Not any of your players because you're shit and you're on the
Jose-
bottom of the
Jose,
ladder,
no
so
one's
shut
going to
up.
offer you anything for Zach Dawson.
Yeah, I know. Tom
Seriously,
Boyd. They
I
put
wouldn't
Tom Boyd in the
offer
ruck.
I wouldn't offer up the tissue that I wiped my bloody toe with.
The other thing out of that game was apparently it was the first time in 26 years the Swans have played 3 debutants in the first game, and all played pretty reasonably too. Like, their youth outshone yours.
Well, it is easy to look,
The fact
like,
that
to
it
defend
had
Collingwood here,
was-
it's very easy to look good when your side is sort of thumping the other team.
They did not at all look out of place. Like, Papley looked fantastic. They looked like they belonged at that level. But it's really easy to do that when you're 80 points up. Like,
It's true.
I mean, Treloar played a very good game for Collingwood.
Yeah, he did.
Probably
I'm
their
quite-
best.
Yeah.
and you know what? That's an indictment on the rest of them. An absolute indictment, and they should be ashamed of that. As angry as you can be and as disappointed as you are to see a performance like that, because, like, if you're not going to get a win, you want to see effort, you want to see fight, and we had none of that. But it's round one. We're better than that. We are better than that. So you want to turn up in 6 days and show better than that. Otherwise, the fucking Westpac Centre, Holden Centre, whatever you want to call it, is going to be jam-packed full of people wanting blood.
Let's move on. We've discussed this game briefly already, but Melbourne versus the Giants.
Hogan had a shit game, yet in the space of, 15 minutes, he just turned it on and won the game. He is fucking good.
Yeah, but at the same
think-
time,
I
also
think
not
it
I
was-
wish you had a
like-
key forward like that, Jose.
Yeah, I would. It's like a game next
So, but
To be
why don't
fair,
you
he
more
does
in
he
talk?
does look pretty happy at Melbourne. You know, the way he got into it.
Except in the
sing song
first
after
3
game.
quarters where he looked like Richo on a bad day. Like, he looked
Dixon
petulant.
was mentioned before as like a player who took a long time to really get into the game. Hogan was probably even worse in the first 3 quarters, but then, you know, that's the whole hallmark of probably not even a good player, but just like a mature player who can, rather than sooking for like a whole game, put all the bad stuff behind him and just turn it on in the last quarter. So I think he's sort of mature beyond his years. So that's a really good sign for
If he was
Melbourne.
mature beyond his years, he wouldn't have done that. Like, you don't pull Kyrgios if you're mature beyond your years. Like,
Compare
No,
Kyrgios.
Everyone has a fucking bad game once in a while.
oh no, I'm not talking about bad
the
game. I'm
fact
talking
that-
about bad attitude. There's a difference. And if everyone can have a bad game, everyone's entitled to that. Bad attitude is something else. That is well within your control, and that affects your teammates more than you having a bad game.
What's
Usually
Still a
Melbourne's-
better attitude than Dangerfield, though.
Yeah.
No,
Also-
Dangerfield looked like the cat that got the cream. He was happy as pigging shit.
I'm sure the umpire that was verbally harassed will agree with you.
Oh, shut up.
We'll get plugged
I'm sure
to
his
duty
teammates-
with the umpires. That'd be fair.
Do we have anything else on Giants beaten by Melbourne?
I mean, Oliver looked good, or whoever
Oh.
from Melbourne, he looked very good.
No, he
Viney
looked really
Cameron.
ugly. He looked really ugly, but he played well.
Viney played pretty well.
Oh, I love the way Jack Viney plays football.
Does he
You know
enjoy
what? I thought
his
it was
football
quite.
too?
You know, I just like the way he goes about it.
Say that again. Apparently Stevie J's being whacked for being selfish.
It's like buyer beware. Did you got what you asked for, really? What were you expecting? If you want him to come in there and teach and lead by example, this is what you're going to get. You're going to
Well,
get forwards who are selfish.
Speaking of setting an example, like the whole fucking Giants team were really selfish, especially in that third quarter where they dominated but kicked like 1 goal 11 or something. Like everyone was taking shots in hope from outside 50 when they had 3 teammates like in the square. I reckon Stevie J's taught them this.
It's the Geelong culture seeping in.
Oh, it's not even the Geelong thing, it's just Stevie J just hungry.
Yeah, I don't think it's not Geelong culture. Like that's just him, and he's
He-
going to infect them as a club.
He is a cancer on the GWS culture, I think.
It's good for football.
Stop being contrary.
So Stevie J's going to destroy the Giants, like
fucking Nick at Carlton.
I was going to say, yeah, someone at Carlton, Daisy at Carlton, Mick at Carlton. Yeah. He'll be the double agent, just so that Geelong's brigade of mercenaries can win more flags instead of the Giants challenge him. Stevie J's going to double agent.
They really missed Jeremy Cameron that game. Like, seriously.
Well, but they didn't pick Patton, so...
They wouldn't have fucking kicked it to him anyway. They would have just gone for goal from outside 60.
No wonder they didn't need Boyd.
Boyd doesn't get kicks.
To be fair, nobody needs Boyd at the moment.
They need someone who can kick.
Freeman will need Boyd.
No, we don't.
No, well, really, GWS just need players who are going to stand there and do nothing, so they do need Boyd. Because they only need like 6 players who are going to be hungry and do it all. The rest just need to stand there and make up the numbers. Get him back.
Let's move on if we're done with that.
No, it was a good game of football, and it was nice to see Melbourne attack a game
rather than try to defend it. It was good for a Paul Roos game. Like, they had to attack in the last quarter. They, went for it and got rewarded for being a bit brave.
Yeah, they didn't try to save it. They tried to win it, and it was good to watch.
This is how you win games like that, Jose.
Mm-hmm. I know. They didn't attack in the fourth quarter when they had momentum. I know.
Ross should take a leaf out of Roosie's book.
Or Goodwin's book.
Goodwin likes to take a risk, though. He's a gambling man.
So you're saying we should hire Favola as a coach?
Couldn't do any worse. Hey, you could play him at full forward.
Brent Guerra.
Exactly.
He did kick 6 on the weekend.
He'd still be your best forward, Jose.
No, isn't that right? You have got Brent Guerra on your coaching staff now, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and he's the one with the fucking massive gambling addiction, so clearly you're trying.
Well, I saw a quote, where was it? I might have read it on TLC. A Freo supporter who tried to blame David Hale and Brent Guerra going over to Fremantle. According to this Freo supporter, they were double agents sent by Hawthorn to ruin Ross Lyon's game plan. And
they already blamed daylight savings as well.
Oh yeah, they did blame daylight savings, didn't they?
Like, you don't actually think that this game plan is going to one day just like magically work. Seriously.
Can we talk about another game?
Wake up, guys. Wake up.
We're talking too much about Freo.
Jose, you always tell us we need more Fremantle discussion on the show.
You had to be first with the goo. You wanted to talk about him. Let's talk about him.
Fremantle. Blah blah's like Fremantle. Zach Dawson this.
Blah blah blah. Some guy
I'm
named...
not even convinced that's a real person, but okay, let's talk about him anyway.
No, I think some guy was wearing Spurs or something.
Lee was wearing Spurs.
Was it Lee Adams?
Tom Lee. They got him to play forward.
Was it Lee Harding, like that guy that sang Wasabi?
Yeah, it was him.
Let's move on. Richmond scrapped a win over Carlton in a pretty shitty game, but Rioli was great. Fantastic. 21 moral disposals.
And a moral loss.
This game was good purely because everyone's expectations of this game was so low that the game just exceeded all those expectations, and kind of the fact that it was an alright contest made it worth watching. I did like the thread on the main board, let's all boycott watching this game because it'll be so shit. It turned out to be alright.
Well, Carlton played pretty well, actually. They showed some heart for once.
They showed some structure as well. Bolton's clearly going to take him down the ruse path, so...
And Wiedering looked good.
He did look handy. He wasn't as impressive as Rioli, though. Rioli was great.
Didn't a Richmond player kick like 3 goals like a young player? He played very well.
Lloyd or someone?
Yeah.
Lloyd's been around a few years.
And Vickery played pretty well.
Yeah, for once it was our lesser players playing well. Because Cochin, we still haven't found Cochin clearly, because he wasn't there on Thursday night, and Ellis hasn't
Maybe
been
he got
found
it
since
banned
either.
from the MCG.
Well, I don't know. Maybe he got lost on the horses, which didn't show up. So, hey, Port Adelaide, you still have the worst pre-match.
Didn't Darryl still sing, though? I think that finally Carlton supporters wound back their expectations and weren't expecting to make the 8, so they're impressed with what they saw. I think they'll be let down by the end of the year.
Oh, yeah, it'll fade, clearly, though.
Yep.
On the basis of one round, I'm ready to make the call that I probably went a bit early by saying Essendon could finish ahead of them, because they will probably still do enough to roll Essendon. Brisbane could still finish below, but yeah, not.
What we saw from Carlton, at least this week, was that they have a bit of fight in them, and they had 0 fight in them last year under Mick, and even the caretaker coach. That's why they won the Spoon last year.
Gifting games
but this year, there's going to be, a bit more hunger, a bit more fight in them, and they'll beat Essendon, and they'll pick up 1 or 2 other games.
Yeah, they'll beat a few teams, and there is a structure, and they've got a game plan. Whether they won't be able to carry that out, to the extent that they would like, but they'll learn and they'll get used to it, and then they'll tire and fade. But at least at the moment, they look like a football team for the first time in a while.
Indeed. Let's move on from that game. The horses didn't show, so there's nothing much else to say, except haha Port.
How did the lip sync battle go?
I'm not sure those happened either.
Yeah, that's
unfortunate. clearly they just called the whole thing off.
Maybe it did happen, you just didn't hear because they were miming. Were you standing on your seat so you could see?
No, I ain't staying on my fucking seat. I'm not Jose.
It was a rap battle for the ages. Fucking Marcel Marceau versus Helen Keller.
Let's go to North Rolling the Crows on the Saturday night.
We finally won
redeemed.
round one, about time.
Yeah, Cousin Brad finally has a round 1 win, so...
Feels strange. I'm usually left bitterly disappointed after round one. Don't really know how to feel. This winning stuff.
Jose cold hard tips.
Oh,
North win.
Oh,
Shut up.
How many did you get, Jose? How many did you get right?
Only got 5. Fucking tipped
well, that's
Hawthorn.
3 less than
Oh,
what
Fremantle,
Roby
jeez.
got,
And it's
so...
Oh dear.
Actually, Roby got 7, I think.
No, Roby got 8. If anyone
Got
tries
8.
to tell you got 7, they're lying because they forgot to factor in Charlie Dixon.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he changes his tips after they lose.
I love that the power rankings are back. What else we got on North? Weight delivered, so once again the old farts dragging North across the line.
no, it was mainly Cunnington and Zeeble in the middle, finally getting in the high 20s in disposals, which was good to see. So they basically were the engine room and
But Weight
got
kicked
us
all
over
the
the line,
goals.
which was encouraging.
Waite and Boomer, wasn't it? Like, kicked half their goals.
White kicked
Got
3.
Three.
Yeah, and Boomer kicked 3 in like 3 minutes, which turned the game in the third quarter. So he didn't do much for the rest of the game,
So
to be fair.
that was when he drank his own spunk.
So
Yeah,
he had a spark
he
by
just had a-
Boomer.
he just had a
He
quick
provided
shot.
the spark by Boomer.
Trademark.
Anything else on that game? Anything else we noticed?
The Crows
Yeah.
really missed Dangerfield,
Yeah, they had a much higher
But-
disposal efficiency without him.
and we got robbed by the umpires, but still won. Just,
Oh,
just
yeah,
Shut up, Plugger.
Umpire was really shit, actually. I was going to say.
No moral victory there. I saw the game.
It was a moral
Nothing.
and an actual victory, so we got the double on that one.
As long as you have less free kicks than the other team, you win.
It's not about the ones
Unless
they
the
pay,
neutrals
it's
on
ones
the
they
main board
miss.
say otherwise.
It's the
so.
ones they don't pay.
Eagles skied over Brisbane. Is there much to take out of this?
Eagles' defense, as Ben said, is very, very concerning. Letting Brisbane score 100 on them.
Yeah, they might
Rockcliffe
let
is-
Brisbane score
I
100
I
on
wouldn't
them, but
read
bet
too much
they wouldn't let
into it.
Fremantle get anywhere near that.
But no, the players' tyre and defences are always a little bit crap in round one, so I wouldn't read too much into that.
Okay.
Yeah, they still
and
managed to
Rockcliffe,
ski pretty.
They still
well
kick
for them.
fucking, what, 25, 26 goals,
Yeah.
so...
Yeah, they,
you know.
they scored 166 points. And considering that they finished their season the same day Hawthorn did, I'd take them letting the other team score 100 if they're going to kick 26 goals.
But they don't have the youth that Hawthorn do.
No, but they won.
They were
Rockcliffe.
playing Brisbane, I'll just remind you that.
Rockcliffe
Oh,
was 20
I'm
and
aware,
3.
but you can only beat the team that's put in front of you.
Did you say Rockcliffe's
Maybe.
20 and 3?
He almost
Yeah.
20 and 3.
Oh,
He
well.
20
Like
and 2.
Almost.
He played
And it'd
surprisingly
be the
well.
most effective
I almost
20
turned up on time.
He was very effective. Like, he kicked 2 goals. He kicked it inside the 50.
I don't believe you.
They were probably
Yeah.
ineffective goals.
How many metres did he gain this week? Was it +5 instead of -5?
It's usually Lewis Taylor who gains the negative distance.
Crap.
but-
Or Cam
It was-
Guthrie?
Daniel Rich kicked a pretty impressive goal. That's about all I can remember.
He's a good player, unfortunately being wasted at Brisbane. Just imagine how
He'll be
fucking...
there for another 5 years.
Yes, imagine how good he would be with fucking Hawthorn's game plan, but unfortunately he's decided to be a mercenary and just probably take the big money offer from Brisbane.
Bit rich.
Yeah, but you could either be miserable in Tasmania or rich in Brisbane. I mean,
Maybe
fair
he
point.
likes to get a
Tough
tan
choice.
naturally.
He's getting third-party payments up in Queensland from Clive Palmer's Jurassic Park dinosaur park. So,
And I heard he's getting a cut from Carmichael. So.
anything else on that game?
Josh
No.
Kennedy, he did pretty well. He skied
Yeah,
all over him.
got the X's to the win.
Yep.
But the Suns began the misery of the year for Essendon, and Gazza was back. But were the Gold Coast even that good apart from him?
Don't think so. Like, they were... I mean, you put some of this down to round one, obviously, but they were really fumbly as well and
They started pretty
didn't look
slow.
all that
but they-
impressive.
It's really hard to be clean with disposal in the humidity that they experience this time of year. Like, it's...
So you're saying it's wet weather
It's-
conditions?
It pretty much is. It's that dewy and it gets that heavy that it is hard to be clean with disposal.
That would explain a lot about why they didn't win by more. I think the most interesting part out of this game was Dean Rioli's call out of Adam Cooney on Twitter, where he literally said Cooney doesn't give a shit about playing for Essendon.
He only likes the spongy floors.
Well, I found that a bit rich because as someone who played at 15 kilos above what was acceptable, Dean Rioli clearly didn't give a shit about playing for Essendon either. So, yeah, it was a bit hypocritical, I thought. But the knives have come out for a few of them. Kane Corns was saying it was sad to watch Stokes running around.
they're getting paid money to do a thing they
Sometimes,
love.
like-
There's zero expectations. I mean, you just take it.
It's literally a free hit. And what else are they going to do? Like, Stokes could, get back in the game, but like jail.
Well, he's gone to Essendon.
At
so he
least,
can learn
at
from
least here,
Woosha.
he might actually get another contact. Like,
Yeah,
Didn't
he's got
Stokes 20 and
Woosha.
3?
He's at Essendon with Woosha.
Oh, hang on, didn't Stokes
He's got his
20 and 3?
pharmacist. It's Stokes 20 and 3.
I think
I think he
Stokes 20 and
did,
3.
yeah. Or
No.
19 and 3 or something like that. Like, you definitely kicked 3, either
wow.
20 and 3 or went really close.
Oh, check it.
So he's now Essendon's best player.
There we go.
Right,
27.
Crowley.
who would
No,
have thought the
27
guy that
and
got
3.
charged, the guy that had an actual drug charge, was their best player now? Well,
Ryan Crowley kicked
There
a
you
goal.
go.
did he pinch him?
Yeah, he did. Essendon just, could be shocking. I don't know why people were taking free shots at him. Like, what do you expect? You got 10 players got delisted from the other teams.
Because it's Essendon. Fuck Essendon.
Hang on, who's taking a shot at these people? Like
Dean
Fat Dean
Rioli.
Rioli.
Or Cooney.
Dean Rioli had a shot at Cooney, and Kane Corn said it was sad watching Stokes run around. Obviously,
Oh,
it
because
must have been
Kane
early
Kane
on.
Corns gets to be holier than thou because he gave up to go and be a fireman.
Be a
Like,
fireman.
fuck off. And what, Dean Rioli ate like 16 turtles and came back heavier than fucking Darren Jarman. So shut up.
Kane Corn sort of writing on the wall last year with Port, not making finals.
The writing was on the wall like 3 years before when Primus tried to give him the arse. Didn't see the writing then.
No, he had a decent year that 1 year, but yeah, you're right. Let's move on. Talking points time. We'll begin with the drug tests. And, well, Collingwood on the injunction. 7 or 11, it doesn't matter how many there are.
See, this shouldn't be the
I'm
story.
amazed you didn't have
This
more
is not
computeral
helping.
tests.
This is not helping the cause. It is literally just an attack. It's cheap, it's stupid, and it does nothing but taint what they are trying to achieve. So I'm not just saying
Wait,
it because
so
it's my
what-
club, but it does upset me because we do constantly cop a barrage because we put ourselves out there for it. And
So brave.
no, not brave. We're stupid.
You've copped
Gary
it, you're
Pert-
copping it for everyone. So brave.
No, shut up, dickhead. Gary Pert comes out and whatever, wants to change the world one drug addict at a time. Lovely. And then it turns out that, oh, look, we're in the top 3, 7, doesn't matter. But we get named. They agreed to this thing with this cloak of anonymity, and only our players have it removed. It's not fair, but move on. Like, you can't all attribute that to your performance. So don't use that as an excuse again because it's pathetic and I don't want to hear it. But this is not what the story
Yes,
should have
Steele.
been. It shouldn't have been
Well,
that.
I missed most of what you were saying, but I did like the bit about the cloak of anonymity because
I was
anonymity is
thinking
exactly how I would describe cloak.
Yeah, clever. It's all like smoke and mirrors.
I mean, who gives a shit? I mean, I'm pretty certain
I give a
every
shit.
person.
I give a shit
Well,
because it's
there's
my
people-
club.
There's people at our clubs probably doing cocaine. I mean, it's just.
No, there are.
Media
There's a
Carlisle.
Snapchat video of it. There's a video of it. There's actual evidence. There's a
Yeah, but
person.
like
who has a
coming from
name. There's a video.
Coming from someone who supports a clean club, I'm disgusted by yours and Cookie's clubs.
Does Dusty get deported when his dad does for being a bikie, or?
Weren't North like had they had the lowest number or something? Like they're that boring that they don't even fucking take any. I guess they're too old for it.
I thought North were because they had all the Bible bashers.
Nah, they're getting all those Medicare rebates because like they're all like all on the PBS and shit.
Like, I'm more of the view that this thing's just tainted the whole week of football. Like, every time you want to hear someone talk footy, like on the radio or something, it's all just this drug shit. And like, oh, I don't care. Like, fuck off, Collingwood. I just want to.
Fuck off, Collingwood.
Yeah,
didn't
once
do
again,
Yeah, fuck
once
We didn't
again,
do this.
Collingwood,
over there with Jose.
Collingwood
Don't
and
make me
Eddie have
come in
ruined
there.
it for the rest of us.
I don't care. I just want to talk footy without hearing all this
Collingwood have
shit that
ruined
I don't
football.
care.
Well, we didn't write the story ourselves. We didn't ask for it to be written. We
you
weren't
you may as
contacted.
well have. You could have not
I don't
taken
know,
all
because
those
there are
drugs.
18 teams in the league. There are 18 teams. And you're not one to talk because your team is full of fucking drug addicts, so shut up.
Talking to me? Yeah, I know.
You talking?
Well, yeah, where's Harley?
Yeah, I know. We've got. I can tell you now.
Michael
I
Johnson.
know 3 of them take drugs, and yes, you've already named 2 of them.
Well,
and
3.
like, I don't.
There
I
would
don't
be,
understand
there
it.
would be
Like
10.
Collingwood
It's not,
got
it's not
outed.
quite 11, is it?
Collingwood
Well,
got
no,
outed
but we don't know
over
what
it.
11
That's
is.
more people than there are in Fat Club.
Not
I'm
even
surprised
11 is 11.
I'm surprised Hawthorn wasn't outed because Mark Robinson, Essendon, flog, didn't out Hawthorn, James Hurdy's hated club.
No,
Oh,
That's
and
not
his
upsetting.
absolute contradiction last night when he said that our players couldn't be affected by a drug scandal because Dermot Brereton says it wouldn't affect them. Yet, hang on, wasn't he saying the absolute opposite when it was Essendon?
He's a big hypocrite.
No, Jose, no blasphemy, please. Jesus, Jose.
He's a fucking idiot, and he got
So
schooled.
someone named Hawthorn, so I feel the need to respond. We are a
That
proud
kid
club
got schooled
based on
last night.
strong traditional Christian family values, and we would never stoop to such a level.
Hodgie will be at the
Right,
Peel next week if anyone wants an autograph.
Yeah, he's taking his recovery serious.
Yeah.
True Hodgie
He'll be at
fashion,
Wet
don't
on.
drink driving.
He'll be
mate.
doing his recovery at Wet on Wellington.
Anything else on Collingwood being on drugs?
Nothing really. It's just
Just took over.
They
that's
named
all.
Collingwood purely because they wanted to get money, because the media's fucking just soulless.
I'm sort of with Northernlights on this. I don't give a fuck, but yeah, Collingwood have really ruined the week of football
Yeah.
with their antics.
Yes,
You're an idiot.
exactly.
yes, both off and on
It's
the
not
field.
Collingwood that want it. I don't care who.
No,
I
it's
don't care how
Collingwood.
it started or
Go
sure,
back pedal now.
where-
You've dug the hole. Just get in.
If this
Just
went for any other club, you'd be sticking the boots in. You just want to root.
Only if it was West Coast, I'd be sticking the boots in.
Usually it's Teach who's always thinking about that when he's on.
Yeah, the teacher's always concerned with, how everyone else is going, so I just thought I'd fill in for him.
He'll ask you next week, Anil. Staying Collingwood.
Stop talking about us, Minnow.
No. Apparently you got starstruck by the big bright lights at the weekend. Did anyone catch this?
No.
The big bright lights. Collingwood don't get enough training under lights, so now they're going to train under lights so they can get used to it. It's almost as though they're like scared of the dark or stage fright, or I
Well,
don't know which one.
I'm pretty sure Travis does sleep with the light on. David
Well,
David does come over at night and put the night light on, but
Funny-
he can't take very good dick pics when the lights are off. So
Funny you should mention Travis, because this idea sounds like it came from Travis, because he had the whole crowd noise thing in the headphones to help him kick, which didn't do shit. So now it sounds like something Travis would suggest, that you start training at night.
But you know
So
what?
that-
At least he's
because the
trying
lights
to
are too
suggest
bright.
something. Like, I like the fact that he hasn't just thrown the towel in and gone, you know what?
Maybe
I'm
he-
just not very good at football. At least he's still trying.
Maybe he's just delusional.
Maybe he should
Oh,
concentrate on
I've-
improving his football instead of trying to change the world with ideas, because he's never going to get there.
He's
He's
not
not
exactly
Harry
what-
O'Brien. Relax.
He's not.
He's not
an
He's not
ideas
coming
man.
up with Mensa ideas every week. Chill.
Hey, Bulldogs. Anything else on Collingwood being scared of the dark?
I think Jesse White
Hopefully-
suggested the idea.
Well, he doesn't play AFL, so it doesn't really matter. Hopefully he stays in the VFL with James Sage. Hopefully they're not scared on Friday.
One last thing on Collingwood. Eddie came out this week and suggested that they should award a medal named after Adam Goodes. Lo and behold, 2 days later we have the Goodes O'Loughlin medal, which, not getting into details, but naming a medal after Mickey O, not so sure about that. But no,
Well, they should-
2 days later they announced a medal for Indigenous round named after those two. Am I the only one who thinks that maybe Eddie caught wind of this a little bit early and thought, hey, I'll suggest the idea so that when Sydney do it, it sounds like it's my idea? And
Well, he's just
Eddie's idea
he's just
now.
an ideas man, is Eddie.
yeah, like, he says enough stupid shit that it'll probably look normal, and then it comes out. The story will be the Swans follow Eddie's idea for a Goodes medal. And you just know that the Swans hierarchy will be raging about that behind closed doors.
A broken clock is right twice a day.
Actually,
and
you know what
just
And
on
so is
the,
Eddie.
And just on the O'Loughlin part of the Goodes O'Loughlin medal, I can't imagine Wombat being too happy with that.
Yeah,
No?
actually, you know what they should do? They should put a picture of, the infamous Wombat and O'Loughlin being on the medal.
So on one side you got Goodes pointing, and
Yep.
the other side you got Mickey O getting
No,
in his face,
goods
eh?
with the
It's
spear.
funny because
Spear chuck.
isn't Wombat like half the man he used to be, and O'Loughlin's half the man people think he is?
More precious.
Oh, whack.
Oh, but hey, he was good at football, so that's okay.
Yeah, well, Luke Hodge is a good bloke because he's good at football,
Yeah.
but really...
No.
It's amazing how some people's sins get forgiven, unless you play for Collingwood.
Such a
You should
victim
take drugs.
mentality.
Shut up, idiot. You'll be a fucking
Fusion
victim in a
complex.
minute.
Soon she'll be claiming that people steal their game plans.
Cluedo.
Why would anyone want to steal that?
Don't underestimate how desperate Ross will get.
That would imply we had one.
Since you talked about forgiveness and all that, we'll come to, and we have been on the religious bent, finally Good Friday football will be coming next year just about. It's almost confirmed,
Salvation from
Presumably-
rugby league.
and everything else, and just what is a pretty boring day as it is. Apparently North's going to be playing, but it's a twilight game.
Is that because they have to get to bed?
I don't know, but we'll take what we can get. But
Well,
Twilight
it's
game.
they could
You
play
could
it
fit
at
two
fucking
games.
they could play it at fucking 6 a.m. for all I care, and we'd all still watch it, and we'd be grateful for it because
well, not
Yeah.
yeah. Well, Teach would watch it. He's up at
up at 6, and he keeps fucking reminding us.
Actually, I think
No.
what they should do with the North game, they should stick with the boring, theme and put Fremantle playing North.
I'd rather shoot
No,
myself
because-
in the
Fuck
face.
off, Jose.
I'd rather know football again. Fuck off, Jose.
Maybe we should get Port to play because, you're not allowed to eat meat, so we could have pufferfish.
Good idea.
I think St Kilda because, the Saint part.
Yeah, Saints
No.
North, you're right. No, I like it. Saints v North. Two of the lesser clubs get some much needed exposure.
Or
Good
Saints v
offers.
Demons.
Well, the Saints
No,
could
okay,
expunge
Romping
their
wins.
demons, and Carlton can play North. Like, why can't we have 2 games?
Because
Like, if we're going to do it, let's just do it.
It has to be
Let's
all
just do
North.
it. Four
was
four
our
inner
idea.
city clubs who. Oh, all right, relax. You get to play.
So was Friday Night Football, but you don't play then either.
Yeah, I know. So we'll start this off, and then eventually someone will take it over. So we have
Oh,
to
and
get
then
it.
Well,
oh,
not if,
here you
not
go.
if you
Now
don't draw
you've
people.
taken
That's
the
why.
victim. You've got your victim
Probably
mentality.
fucking
Why-
Collingwood will take it over
Right.
again.
This is why North want Carlton on the Friday night, because they know if they don't get a big club to play and the crowd doesn't come, they will lose it. So they're trying to pick someone big.
I don't
without
understand.
But isn't the
Who
idea
thinks
to
that
get a
Carlton
big
are a
crowd?
big club? Carlton aren't a big club anymore, dickheads.
No, but
Well,
they're next to
North
the
are doing it
Children's
wrong.
Hospital. So
You're doing big clubs wrong. You've got the wrong Big Four, guys. I don't know if you've had the update, but Gold Coast have overtaken them.
I think you're being bitter now. Like, there's-
Shut up,
You need
idiot.
you need to focus on the next bandwagon, and that is obviously Geelong.
But
No.
yeah, no, it's very good to have Good Friday. Like, I actually didn't mind not having football on Good Friday a couple of years ago when it was always in round 5. But when you get the Easter weekend in round 1, it's so shit because you get all this anticipation around the first game, and it's on the Thursday, and then you're hyped up about it, and then you've got to fucking wait till Saturday for the next game, like was the case this weekend. So it'll
It's
be
like when you
a
finally
welcome
see a
change.
pair of boobs and you can't touch them. Jose, you'll find out one day.
Wow.
Oh,
Savage.
Morgs is just mean tonight.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm
Must
sorry.
have been
I'm
a
in
drug
pain.
exposure.
My
Did
foot
we want to
hurts.
discuss how we thought the new rules went this week?
Kind
I
of good
don't
to see players try and keep the ball in for play, but you get the idea if a bounce is dodgy, an umpire will pay deliberate or not deliberate because the rule is probably written like by a complete fuck knuckle, so it's bad.
It's taken them one to fuck it up at times.
It's like the Formula One new qualifying system. You had a week of it, now put it in the bin and let's hopefully never see it again.
Except with AFL, we're too proud to turn around and say we made a mistake and we won't get rid of it.
It's still an interpretation thing. They just have to soften it a bit. I did laugh at the GWS player who tried to shepherd a ball out of bounds because a Melbourne player had kicked it to clear, and then another Melbourne player charged through, bumps him off it, and takes possession before it goes out of bounds and runs it down to the other end. That was pretty funny to actually see, but at the same time, fast cool to see guys leaving a ball at the boundary, hoping it goes out, like basically last touch, and trying to win a free kick. I think it needs to.
But I
can't
like that.
happen.
Reward the player going for the ball. Let him get it.
He wasn't going for the ball.
Yeah, he
No,
wasn't. He was-
reward the
no.
other
He
guy
wanted
who
it-
did. Good.
Well,
That guy
yeah.
won't be a squib again. Or if he
No.
is, well, shouldn't play.
there's already been some flaws. They need to wind it back. Just not the whole way, but just a little bit more than
Yeah,
they have.
there's always these kind of tinkering that I think that comes with breaking in a new rule, but I don't know. I like the premise of it.
This rule is based, it's not even like that fucking stupid slide rule that they brought in a few years ago as an overreaction to the Lindsay Thomas, Gary Rowan thing. Like, this rule is
don't,
based
please
purely...
don't.
No, sorry to get NL wound up, but
Oh no,
this
now he
rule
won't
is purely
sleep.
being judged about, like, what is the player's intention, and any time you're trying to adjudicate based on intentions of the player and trying to judge whether they were trying to keep it in or not, it's just such a slippery slope that you're better
Like,
off
seriously,
without it.
You can't put yourself in the mindset of somebody that dumb. Like, you try and be Travis Cloke. You can't. Like, seriously. It's just... interpretation is stupid.
And-
like, black
and
or
there's,
white rules,
like,
please.
Yeah, it's like you either
agree on
hit the
that.
bloke in the head or you don't hit the bloke in the head. But like with the deliberate rule, it's like, were you trying to keep it in? Were you trying to make an effort? You know, and same reason the holding the ball rule's got a lot of criticisms. Like, you know, what does fucking make an attempt mean?
How can you have prior opportunity when 50 players are on your fucking face?
And fucking speaking of the new rules, I think there was a bit of a difference in holding the ball this week. They were very lenient on it, and I don't think it was a good thing.
Let's move on to what was possibly the funniest story of the week, and this would have almost gone missing amongst all of it because it is a West Horsham thing, but it is the Crows Cruise. It's a cruise for Adelaide fans. It's going to be Crows themed. It's going to go from Darwin to Sydney.
Is it stopping anywhere?
It doesn't say that it's stopping anywhere, but
Because how are they going to get off 3/4 of the way through?
But yeah, there's a lot going on. It's apparently it's going to be the greatest end of season trip of all time, according to Ambassador for the Crows Cruise Roy Sloan. It's going to have a crow death tank, which
Bad title.
Golly gee whiz. Not a
Yeah,
good
so-
title.
Yeah, considering what happened last year, it's not a good title.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
This
actually...
is dumb on so many levels.
It's like a parody of themselves.
Like so many levels of the ship.
This
So
is worse than the horses thing. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
it's-
We wondered how long it would take to top the horses thing. It's taken 1 week.
So it's just
But at least the
personally
horses
organised.
thing was funny. Like this is just like there is.
Oh no, there are
Cringeworthy.
some very funny parts to this though. Like, for
Yeah, this
example-
is funny,
some
but not
yucky-
in a good way.
Adelaide are not really helping their whole image of, a bunch of old farts supporting them with an old fart holiday to a place
I
old
can't wait for
farts will
barrel
find
bingo.
interesting.
When they ask for a barrel girl, don't volunteer, guys, because you're a goner.
I mean, like, if your club has this much money to spend it on a fucking cruise, I think it's time to
think the
start
cruise is meant to
investing
make
into
money
other
somehow.
areas.
But
How are they going to get their 600,000 purported members that they want to have on board a ship?
Well, what if it's a really big steamer and they're just going to East Geelong?
Well, yeah, it's a Cleveland steamer.
yeah,
It could explain where Teach is gone. He's not here, but he's half planning the cruise.
He might be
And-
on the cruise
and-
with Luke Hodge.
And he does love Adelaide.
It's like,
But would you
like the Richmond guy who organised the horses got fired and now he's going to Adelaide.
Yeah, but would you trust a cruise where you have
Oh,
to say,
you get to-
what
you
shall
get
we
to-
do in an emergency, Captain
Crow's
Teach?
Cage of Death.
What,
That's just
whatever
That's
Ross
so-
Sloan
that is
got
so
paid to
poor.
endorse that, it wasn't enough.
that you get to watch replays of the 97 and 98 grand finals on board.
Do they have the replay of what happened at the Ramsgate?
Probably it's the third greatest moment in club history. They won the fight, yeah.
Yeah, well, isn't that was off season? Yeah, maybe they can have a reenactment.
Well, you get to test your skills against Crow's legends.
Well,
apparently.
yeah, maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's at the bar and the loser walks the plank.
Test your sports skills. No, it'll be a pie eating contest with Darren Jarman.
Brad Crouch.
Brad Crouch. Hardly say Brad Crouch is a legend.
Eating pies
Hey,
makes
this-
you legend.
You're talking about Adelaide here. They had fucking Kurt Tippett and Wayne Carey like on their wall of legends.
Thank you.
Balfours
but-
think they're all legends.
The plastic franchises are not really helping the proper clubs, with thinking they're not
these bloody
plastic
franchises
franchises.
in West Horsham, isn't it?
Yeah, actually, talking about that, how come Adelaide have enough money to organise a cruise, and what are Port Adelaide having at the season?
Port Adelaide will have the tops set out in like a dinghy or like a little fucking sailboat, and they'll just go across Port Adelaide.
David's
They will have
comments
for their
financial
members a giant fucking Pokemon tournament, and they will all
Yeah, probably.
they will all come down to Adelaide Oval and they will get out their fucking Game Boys and play Pokemon all week.
So what they're going to do is they're going to go down to the Glenelg foreshore. They're going to join all the tarps together and make a giant slip and slide. Like a
Still
big
better than
magic
the
tarp all along the beach.
Still better than the
That
cruise.
Magic
sounds
tarp
about
and
right.
ride.
The slip and slide probably does sound like the most Port thing to do.
And it
Just
also is
self-destruct.
a good reflection of their season last year. Slip and slide.
Yes, they're
down the ladder.
sliding down the ladder.
Bit like
Just-
Chad Wingard sliding out in front of a player who made contact with him. Anything else?
Rioli would
Sliding
never
ahead
do
of
something
Cyril.
like that.
Sliding ahead of Cyril in the better player ranks.
Like Daniel has. Anything else on the Crows cruise?
Sign me up for some Chardonnay and
Knitting lessons.
knitting. Knit one,
Yeah.
pearl one.
I mean, this cruising thing sounds interesting, but I'm not sure about the rest of it.
Morgs has dropped a mention, but do we want to talk about the new host of the footy show?
What a crock of shit.
This is the newsreader from Sunrise or something.
Yeah.
Rebecca Madden.
Yes, it's well, it's an interesting choice, but I will reserve judgment until she actually gets a chance. And
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
doesn't
I
episode.
hope.
I don't watch the footy show, so don't particularly care either way. But it does strike
I don't
me
know
as-
how it's even still on with all these people that don't watch the footy show. I think it's interesting. I wish her the best of luck. I think that it is nothing more than trying to appease everybody who says that they're
boys club
chauvinistic, the boys club, blah, blah, blah. And it's really just a spin-off of the NRL footy show did by getting the hot blonde girl, Erin Mullen. But at least, I don't know.
Rebecca would have
I
more
think-
personality than Gary.
I think I've actually kind of like nailed down the footy show's target audience because like isn't there like various scales of like low intelligence thresholds? Like it's something like if you're under the IQ of 70, you're an imbecile, and you're under 60 or under 50, you're officially an idiot or something like that, or they're swapped around or something like that. But basically the footy show's audience is people in that threshold of like 50 to 70 IQ, laughing at all the people on Street Talk who are under 50 IQ, and they'd be like, ha ha, they're so stupid.
So what's that got to do with them putting a female in charge?
No, I mean,
How does
you
that
were
correlate?
talking about how none of us or no one watches the footy show anymore. So I was just
I don't
trying
know
to
watch
give an
the footy
assessment
show.
of their audience.
So you're saying Jose's a fan then?
I watch
I
the
have
footy
hu-
show if I'm home.
I have 140 IQ, thank you very much. I'm men's
You're nearly
equality.
in Mensa
Well,
with Boy Dog.
Yeah.
Um,
I just don't want to point it every time I, you know.
This is a bad
so
time to
sorry.
say that I actually do watch the footy show.
Yeah, I watch the footy show, and I don't feel the need to
Wait.
pretend I don't.
No, but
but I actually don't.
I'd watch anything that they
I've watched
talked
it
about
like over a
football on,
decade.
to be honest.
But they don't talk about football, they just
Yeah.
talk scripted notes and laugh at Gary Lyon, don't they?
Yeah, pretty
Not
much
anymore.
No, not,
It's
not
like-
anymore.
now it's like
You can't have
Voldemort.
Gary Lyon anymore.
well, I will give it another chance now, thanks to
Gary
this
loses.
personnel change, and we'll see if my opinion on it changes.
So
And you know
Gary
what?
Lyon loses nose.
I applaud her for having the guts to take it on, because she's going to cop a whack. Like every woman who has stepped into a broadcasting position or a media position, we get cut down. Women get cut down in this industry because it is a boys' club. So I applaud her
Yeah,
for.
you get called a bitch by Teach every week.
You know what? I am. So deal with it. Whatever. But I think it's good that we have women taking on these roles. Hopefully, she's got the role because she's the right person for the job and not because she's a woman.
And Sam Lanier can still fuck off though. We all hate her.
Yes, and Sam Lane can still take a long walk off Shortview.
And whoever else Morgs hates. you
We
do.
all like Caro, don't we?
Yeah,
Well,
Gary's-
now, it's funny that you should mention Caro.
Panicking.
I don't dislike Caro.
Funny you should mention Caro, because she was on open mic tonight, actually, and she had a couple of nice jabs at James Hird and how it was the most disgusting thing in football. That was the most disgraceful thing in football history. And, you know, how he didn't give a fuck about the players' health and it's there and all that shit. But the most interesting part of the entire story was when she interviewed Gary Ablett Sr. after he won his Norm Smith in '89. And she asked him about some off-field incident and he refused to answer it. But he did offer, because she was pregnant at the time, he put his hand on her stomach and did offer to bless her unborn baby.
Gary
Guy
Ablett
Gary.
Senior's weird, to put it lightly. Very, very weird.
Guy Gary.
He's weird in a way that fucking a 70-year-old dude sitting in a fucking children's playground quietly masturbating is weird.
Yeah. Yeah, there is something weird about a guy who is involved in the death of another human. But hey, the Lord forgives you.
He's the blessing vessel. I just love that. Like, he actually believes he is God.
Well, so does Gary Ablett Jr.
There's just something very wrong with the mentality of those people. I don't care how good they are, well, they're fucked up. So it's funny how Nathan might be actually the most normal one.
No, he quit football to be a Jesus, didn't he?
No,
But
they
let's
should be.
say it quietly. Quietly.
What, plugger?
See, that's the
What?
thing. You gotta keep
What?
crazy quiet.
Whatever happened, like, to that rumor that Alex Rance was going to quit, like, football to become a Mormon? Of all the
He's
fucking
a Jehovah's
rumors
Witness and he...
that have been posted, like, that was the one that I desperately wanted to be true, and yet it
No,
never
I
happened.
think he was gonna quit because he wanted more men.
Oh, Alex Romance, the things you do to me.
Question time. K4E wants to know, what should Travis Cloke's punishment be for his shit game?
You should have to read all of K4E's posts.
He should be in the dark room for 24 hours.
No lights to
He
practice
will
under?
have to
No lights.
endure
No
the lash of
Snapchat
the
for a week.
spanking.
No Snapchat.
He's going to have first child blessed by Gary Ablett.
I reckon he should be made to train without any lights. That'll set him straight.
Seriously, having to play next to Jesse White punishment enough.
He should be traded to Freo. That'd be a good punishment.
Yeah, that's a, no, I like
In fact,
that
even
one.
friending that would get him going.
That's not a good punishment.
not-
Come on. Being strangled by Ross might be a better
Not
punishment.
Cookie wants to know, if Collingwood keep up with their current form, how long will Buckley last?
It's round one, you dickhead. Get some perspective. Sorry,
No,
No,
Cookie.
but the question is if they keep going the way they're going. So it's a hypothetical,
last-
and I
last
answer it
2
with round 7.
Round 11.
He'll last 2 years.
Buckley ain't getting sacked.
Not
They'll
a
come
chance.
back.
Not even. It doesn't matter if they do or not. There's not a chance that he's going to be fed to the Wolves.
I
Nope.
think in round 19 they'll quietly come to an agreement to get rid of him because their slide's going to coincide with some dismal time at Fremantle, and they're gonna get Ross. They're gonna poach Ross.
But like in a way,
no.
though, isn't quietly
fruitcakes.
sacking him, isn't letting him go more respectful in that? Because just imagine how bad the speculation is going to be. Like if you let him go, you know, he gets to leave with dignity rather than be subject to a torrent of media abuse.
You guys are fucking morons.
When I leave,
most coaches that get sacked, well, maybe not most, but you know, a good percentage of them, you know, go on to have jobs at other clubs. You know, it's not like a career over.
Yeah, okay, so
we're still ruining Portfield.
When I lead a coup d'etat on Ross Lyon, I'll send the body back to Collingwood so they can resurrect him and have him as coach.
I was about to say, did you want to ask your question? But clearly, you just asked it yourself, so we're not answering your question.
Yeah, that doesn't matter.
What a dick move.
Collingwood do sack Buckley. I want Brett Bratton to be coached just because he will annoy Carlton.
And
This is so stupid.
What's stupid?
Oh God, this whole conversation.
But I think Bucks will get sacked around 11, or he won't be sacked at all.
Well, I think that it might happen tomorrow, and it might happen next year, or it might never happen. The end.
Let's go to this week on the Bay. And do we have any thread of the weeks?
Well, the Ross Lyon thread, all of them.
The old favourite.
All of them got bloody bumped up because Fremantle lost. Hi, Plugger.
No, but the Plugger one is the king of all the Ross Lyon threads.
It's the long flog
It's backfired that many times both ways.
It is literally throw enough darts material.
It's backfired on Plugger half a dozen times. It's backfired on Freo half a dozen times. It's just nobody wins except everybody else because it's just a bump.
It's come with the Freo implosion.
It's a bumpable thread.
And
Plugger has.
Can I just ask, what do you drink when you read it?
I don't drink.
Same as always. Goo.
No, I drink Boomer's Spunk.
Oh,
copyright boss.
I just know every time Fremantle loses, that thread, bang, first page.
Every time. Nathan Buckwood's thread.
Yeah, I actually went after I saw that Freo got pummeled. I went looking for that thread, and I was a page too late. That's how big that thread is. But I think that's thread. Any honourable mentions?
Must admit, Chappie's thread. That was a live game thread. That was pretty good.
Yeah, buddy Hodgepodge melting over the title of the thread.
Good bloke bingo, also
good. Bloke bingo, yeah, but we're not allowed to give it to that, are we, Morgs? We weren't
no.
allowed last week.
What?
We weren't allowed last week.
Oh no, you can give it to it now because it's.
Oh, well, it's too late. Hodgie fucked the thread.
Yeah, well, look, see, things is all about timing. Benoit, you might be the poster of the year, but your timing shit house. So no thread of the week for you.
I'm going to nominate whichever thread it is that Bosk tried to put the disc.
No. We'll come to that. Don't worry, we're coming to that next.
You know how to talk.
Flog of the week, and maybe Northernlights can take this one.
I was actually going a different tact here. I'll go with DB Swanee.
Oh.
He's just every.
What?
He's white knighting Morgs over the Collingwood thing.
No, he's not.
It
has nothing to do with me.
I didn't even have any idea that he was having a go at Morgs at any point. He doesn't miss an opportunity to make a sook thread. He sooks about Collingwood. He sooks about the opening rounds, the Richmond-Carlton game. He'll just make shit thread after shit thread, and no one calls him out on it, and he's just bland. Be funnier. Be better.
You're calling him out on it, and we respect your right to have an opinion. It's just that your opinion's shithouse.
It has to be Bosk.
We don't give Flog of the Week to Elias's anyway.
Yeah,
it's got to be Bosk.
Okay, and we talked about Beck Madden, right? And if Bosk wasn't in pole position after his melt about the fucking signature, he's locked it up with his melt over Beck Madden because he's literally suggested the only reason she got the job is because she has a big set of jugs. Like, this is literally,
Bosk does not like this.
Bosk in a nutshell.
Okay, seriously, Bosk was grandstanding Reginald Perrin in the prelims when Reginald lost a sig bet with him, saying that he was just, well churning all that crap when Reginald went onto his alias. And then he does this shit.
And then he said KP was petulant for tagging. Bosk's location reads, "It's not a real account." As someone said, you're so insecure that your goo buddies will think you're serious about it.
Well, maybe he's just afraid that they'll overthrow him.
I mean, my signature from Bayer, when Bayer put my avatar and shit up, was pretty bad, but I did go over to Frick Club Board.
It's not always about you, Jose.
I trolled you and told you I didn't like Jesse White, so you let me have his picture instead of Taz Hawks. Sucked in.
Never fall for that again.
Any dishonourable mentions? We've had Bosk, we've had DB.
You know what? I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
I think...
Yep, go. I'll back you on this.
Jose, you've been caught out. You've been found guilty of being an attention whore, and now it's time for somebody else to just stand up and cop their whack. Porked, you're gone. You are literally rehashing the same thing. You're better than this. You're better than this. You don't need to pander to the minnows. You don't need to kick the low-hanging fruit. Be better. Be like DB Swanee. Be better.
Wow. No, I think Pork has some poor form because he gets himself banned.
She's managed to fit 2 whacks.
You know what?
Well,
like,
yeah.
I get it. It's funny when people like make jokes about that we all know about. Like it's like it was cool the first time.
You save those
Well,
for
yeah,
the Fred's Thai Boys
it's like
don't you?
Sue's. Sue's jokes are funny, but there's a time and a place for them. You can't just going around to random threads saying "my pleasure" for no reason. So it's the same thing. I have to give a dishonourable mention to Nakaya just because he is a gigantic turnip and an idiot, but also because he lost an argument, just got completely blown the fuck out by Jose in that Hawks Cats mega thread.
So
And yeah,
you don't need to say anything else.
His wife's son would be very disappointed in him.
You know what? I'll give him a whack too. Don't be coming around calling me out, Flog. I'm here every day. Nobody stops me from logging onto Big Footy. No one tells me what I can and can't do. I am here copping my whack every fucking week, so don't call me out again, cunt.
But do you tell Northernlights what he can and can't do?
No, because he's his own person.
Is that true, Arnell? It's okay, this is safe space.
He's inside. He can do what he wants. I'm locked out.
But no, Pork needed a whack because, the Thai Boys jokes are funny when Thai Boys makes a thread, not when you make a new thread about dickheads and tyres. He's gone to the well too many times on that, and the same with the Divi Blues Welch thing.
Coming up dry, guys. It's boring now. Like, we get it. The can't change your tone. It's a bit dumb. But it's not that funny.
And the best thing about that thread was Bosk's near Welch. Otherwise, that thread probably would have been in the Divi van if Bosk didn't nearly Welch.
It saved the thread. It's just
It
turned into such a
Bosk's
good
near Welch saved the thread. And you know what? Pork might somehow get a vintage tag on that by the time this is through.
But that's the same as the other thread. Like, Divi Blues saved that thread by being a Welcher.
And by being a fuck
You're kind of getting by here on other people being mongs. And you're getting a lot of credit for it. You're going to have to branch out now and stop being an attention whore.
Yeah,
That's Jose's gig.
Start going after the Hawthorn supporters, and it's not my gig. Someone took over it, Coin Bender.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying.
Anyway.
It's your gig.
It's always Ballin's the new attention whore now.
took Bender to
Yeah,
shop.
but the times.
No, always Ballin's the
Oh.
new, who was that flog we always chucked in the Divi van? Every thread? Crazy Kenny. Anyway, are we happy to give it to Bosk with honourable
No.
mentions to the other 3? No?
No, pork
I'll say
sword.
Bosk. No, I'll say Bosk.
Bosk.
He has to get it for that. The Rebecca Madden thread puts him over the line.
I'm with you. KP was gone with it too, so Bosk.
Bosk.
This week's games.
The
Friday
poll.
night, Richmond versus Collingwood.
Is Farky going to the game?
Lights. Yeah, of course I'm going to the fucking game.
Yeah,
Well,
can we go
you know what? Under Light, there's only one team to pick. The team who's been training under Light.
Yeah, but Travis will be in the dark room. He won't know what to do.
Travis has been in the dark for a long time. I think he's accustomed to being in the dark, really. Because the
Richmond
lights are on there, but no one's home. You know what? I'm going for Collingwood because that's what you do. I'm putting it out there. Just, I don't know, try, please. Don't bring your Nash.
I've got
Richmond by 35 points.
I'm going to have to go with Richmond. Like, they both look really bad, but, you know, Richmond have a stronger list, despite what Adam Trelaw thinks.
Daniel Rioli will take us there.
Daniel Rioli will have 10 disposals that are worth 30.
I'm tipping Richmond to get absolutely stuck into Adam Trelaw, that little mouthy cunt, and walk all over him. He's Nathan
That's
Buckley
it.
Mark II.
That's it. You're gone.
Barley, Northern Lights.
We can put up the thread down to beat down without a name.
But don't tell me to close the door, you coward.
Yeah, he's Nathan Buckley Mark II, where he says, they're more likely to win a flag, they've got a better list. And
Oh no, this is a youth thing.
Oh, you are just bitter. You bitter little shit.
No, I'm not really. But, it'll be the
Oh,
same
you
thing.
so jelly you don't have any youth. You got to attack everyone
No,
else's.
yeah, so he'll come up looking like a...
What? This is going to look like a massacre in a minute. Go on.
Yeah, they'll basically get stuck into him, and I'm going to like it.
You're not going to be
Bravery.
around to see it.
Your bravery is truly noted.
Yeah, okay, before we go to the next game, can we take Cluedo tips on Morgs and NL?
No need. It'll be Morgs in the basement with what's around?
Knife.
A
Stomach.
towel. I am going to strangle you with a towel.
Bomb-
Oh, hang on.
bombers.
I found gym equipment.
I've got
Oh,
blunt
he's-
force trauma for
Oh,
watch.
he slipped.
I think it'll be Morgs in the bathroom with the bathwater.
Morgs in the kitchen with a knife.
No.
It'll be Morgs in the dungeon with a mystic dildo.
Yes.
That'll be Trevor's Cloke in the dark room.
No one thinks NL's going to actually get her instead?
No.
No.
I'm inside now.
I won't do that.
I don't think he'd be the type to hit women. I mean, he's not fucking Paddy Dangerfield.
Oh, fuck. Next game.
Don't say hi to me.
Showdown.
Put my laptop down before I smash you.
This is PG-13. I have a
Bye.
on the podcast.
Showdown.
I would say Camrys that win this. Don't want to
Camrys.
give my reasoning away. I just don't like the Puffers.
Yeah, Adelaide to win.
Yeah, also going to go with the Crows, I think.
Everyone's following Jose's cold hard tips here.
No,
Port.
I said the Puffers will throw them overboard.
I think that
Should-
Port are going to cruise through this one. Cruise to victory.
Yeah, Crows.
Essendon versus Melbourne. Look, in past years I'd have thought this is the kind of game Melbourne could be so shit they'd lose, but 10 goals Melbourne.
No,
It's
Melbourne
Mel-
win by a lot. Fuck you, Essendon, for fucking up my last round. That's all.
See, usually Melbourne would beat Essendon when they were shit, so I'm going to go with Essendon.
Essendon are just that shit. Melbourne are going to have their biggest win since like 2006 when they made finals. And
Jesse
it's just
Hogan
going
will
to be
kick 10.
a bloodbath.
No, Melbourne.
Jesse
to
Hogan
see
go all Richo in goal square. Just
Doesn't
throw
Melbourne to
toys
win
at
this?
the
I mean, their midfielders are too young. They're better. They're hungry, and Melbourne actually do look decent now. So Melbourne to win by 70.
Yeah, every time Melbourne have shown that they were decent and given this hope for, this is when they fall.
It'll be Melbourne by however many they want.
Which is like 6.
Lions versus North. I'm going to say that Boomer won't even need to drink his own spunk this week to dominate North comfortably.
He's been drinking his own spunk for a long time.
His whole career. 8 goals, North easy.
North will win, and Rockcliffe will somehow 20-3.
North to win, but only just. Brisbane will put up a good fight.
The Lions, bit of a question mark over them. North should win, but it won't be a total blowout, I don't think.
What do you mean a bit of a question mark over them?
Well,
This is a
are they?
Elaborate.
No, I mean, are they really, really shit like last year, or are they only a little bit shit and have improved? That's, I guess, my question about them.
This is going to be a danger game, I think. These are the type of games interstate that we sort of struggle with. And they did kick 100 points against a pretty good West Coast team, so it's not going to be easy, but we should win. But I'd be bloody nervous.
But that's
So
alright,
you
but-
say you'd be venturing into a zone of danger in Brisbane?
I'm going to tip North by whatever. Who cares? Is Dane Beams playing?
I believe
Probably
still
not.
got another 9 weeks to go.
Clay
That's
playing.
what happens when you get quad strikes.
Quad strikes.
Congratulations to him on announcing that his swimmers can swim and he's impregnated his wife. Well done. Father sons to Collingwood. Woo! Because he's not going to play 100 games for Brisbane at this rate. Suck in, Floggo.
Saints versus Bathwater.
Doggies.
Dogs for me. 6
Dogs look pretty unbeatable he had at the moment, so yeah, got to go with them.
Ugh. Dogs.
St Kilda to win in a canter.
I'm going to go with St Kilda in an upset and the Dogs to drink their bathwater again this week because everyone's talking them up, and that's when they're the most vulnerable. So
So Paddy McCartan kicked 7 goals in the VFL, shown far more than that useless cunt Boyd has ever done. So McCartan to come
Yeah,
in,
but-
kick 10. He's a
No one
hero.
cares about your backwater league, though.
Yeah, but the thing is, that'll be cancelled out by the fact Bontempelli would dominate and Billings will be
Oh,
there.
Bontempelli wasn't even shown the last time we played him. He's still in Maverick Weller's pocket.
Maverick
Think about
Weller
every time I
going
see-
to Fremantle.
Jose, why are you chasing Maverick Weller? You should be chasing someone tall.
We
No,
got
that-
Hogan and Cam McCarthy. So
They're only getting Maverick Weller to make sure Lockie doesn't leave because he's like their only good young player.
Stable
Great
pony,
list management.
stable pony, stable pony.
Let's go to Freo versus Suns.
Fremantle.
Ooh.
Gold cursed.
Fremantle
Gold
versus
Coast to
Suns
win.
in the No One Gives a Shit Cup.
Gary Ablett to do everything and
Gary Ablett to be blessed by his
win.
father.
I think that Gary is going to rise from the ashes of his disappointing performance last week, where he made Rodney Eade sad, and he's going to perform great things, walk on water and shit if it's humid. I don't know.
Gold Coast have actual defenders and forwards, so better than Freo.
I
Mate,
thought if there was ever like a fucking disappointing 10-goal win, Gold Coast last week was it because they were really scratchy, and I reckon Freo will get him this week.
no, Fremantle
Is
would
that
need to
everyone?
start now to score more than 10 goals.
I think Freo will win 60 to 54.
that's barely 100 points between both
Yeah.
teams.
And Ross
That's
Lang
the
would
way
not
they're gonna do
accept that. That's too exciting.
You know
But
what
it is
that
on
means.
a-
We won't be talking about it next week.
Oh, but it is on a Saturday night, so at least Gary will be home for church in the morning.
But yeah, Penal should win this, man. Ross really yelling at him so much for being boring and uneventful. They'll be slightly more exciting and they'll win a game.
Boring and uneventful is what Ross has been asking them for years.
And look where it's from. Nowhere.
Next game, Geelong versus the Giants. CBJ's return.
This is the easiest game of the round to tip. GWS will win in a canter because Geelong played their grand final and they are cooked. Like,
What about all the selfishness? Will they be able to kick straight?
This is going to be the biggest game of hungries there's ever been. Like, there's going to be so much food eaten at halftime, so many hungry goals scored. Like, Tomahawk's going to be eating 74 pies, and Stevie J's going to be hungry for the ball. Like, Jesus. 40-hour famine, guys.
I think Geelong will win.
GWS, Joss, Dangerfield to be tagged and nullified.
Yeah, GWS to bounce back, Geelong to come down off their cloud.
They're going to have a premiership hangover for sure.
Grand final rematch, Hawthorn versus West Coast.
West Coast will win.
Where's it being
No.
played?
MCG.
I think that Hawthorn will bounce back.
Hawthorn by
I'm gonna
30
have-
points.
yeah, no, I'm gonna tip
he's
West
Penal
Coast.
he's Penal with the reverse.
This is about the same as last
This is,
year when we thought they were going
this is like last year, yeah.
to should have merged Melbourne.
Well, it worked for me last year, you cunt, so I'm going to try it again. West Coast
got-
are certainties to win this game because I reckon we just got too many injuries. You know, good bloke captain is out for, 6 weeks now. You know, we've got
Here
our best
we go.
midfielder in Shields on the sidelines.
Porkdo 4 going back to
No,
the well again.
I'm just very happy to see that we'll, have the opportunity to develop some more young players, get them big game experience. It'll serve us well in the long run, maybe in our quest for a 5th consecutive flag next year. But, for this game, I think we're going to drop it and bounce back later in the year when we get some
From
good players back.
4th to 14th. How the mighty
West Coast
fall.
by 9 goals. Hawthorn are cooked. Dynasty over. Won't play finals.
I'll go with Hawthorn
Won't
to
play
bounce.
They're going to
finals.
have a premiership hangover as big as Geelong's after this week. And last game of the round, Carlton versus the Coalers at Etihad.
Sydney, 90 points.
Swans
Yep.
easy.
Sydney, 50 points, I think.
Sydney
Carlton
by
have got a
6
bit of
goals.
fight, but Sydney have too much class.
Sydney.
They'll overpower them eventually.
Sydney by 6 goals. Carlton will put in another dour performance. They'll stick to their structures and their game plans and everything that's been drilled into them and blah, blah, blah. And boring. We await the fall.
Sydney.
Right, so this was the vlogcast for round 2. Starburns joined by Penal,
Good night, and God bless you, my friends.
Cooksen,
See ya.
Jose,
See ya.
Morgs,
Sleep with one eye open and now.
and for his very first appearance and possibly last appearance at the Northernlights.
I'm blaming Gary Ablett.